Welcome to another week of Pillow Talk. We're on episode 3 today. Happy Friday if you're listening to it on Friday. If not, it's probably the weekend or you're probably bored at work.
And if it's not Friday, you're not a real one for coming on Friday.
It's true. You got to show up and show out.
And show off. So for episodes 1 and 2, we wanted to shout out Maydol for being a top contributor. She submitted the question, what is the number one relationship advice you'd give to someone who's looking for one? And what are some tips on staying disciplined?
Thanks, Madoff.
Thanks,
You're a real
Maydol.
one. So for episode 1, I'd like to shout out Janshir, Jay Dillon.
Thanks, Janshir.
Thanks for submitting your answer to the question, the Q&A on Spotify after episode 1.
So for episode 2, on the Spotify poll, we wanted to shout out Shireen for guessing SpongeBob undies. They were not SpongeBob undies, so we will figure it out when we figure it out. Okay, so we're going to take a step away from the Instagram questions, and I wanted to ask you a question today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, what are some lessons you learned from traveling as a couple?
Ooh. So we actually traveled.
6 months into our relationship.
Yeah. I think we learned a lot. Went through some obstacles, learned and discovered a lot about ourselves and each other.
It's the first time I saw a sea urchin, and it was the first time that I ever got stung by a sea urchin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I wish I had the scars to prove it.
What did you learn about that experience?
Don't pee on it.
Don't pee on
Our
it.
tour guide said to pee on it, and I was like, sir, we are on a public bus. I ain't about to pull down these bikini bottoms, show the whole world my grass carpet.
It's the jungle.
Oh no. It's the Thai jungle.
Oh, okay. We're done. We're done. I actually don't think that I learned too much about the first vacation that we took together.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was more of a discovery period for both of us. I wouldn't necessarily say that there was anything that we learned through those experiences per se, more that it was important that we had those experiences.
I feel like I learned a lot because it was my first time going on vacation with your family. So it was really me by myself, really being immersed in like everything that I know made you who you are.
Wasn't it also your first vacation in general?
Yeah, it was weird. I'm like, how do I relax when I'm trying to look cute? But then 2 days into our trip, I got stung by an urchin and his sister had to give me her shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
But I do want to say that the second trip we took together was where I learned the most because it was actually
Which trip was that?
Colorado.
Oh, okay.
But it was actually only you and me.
Yeah, that was a road trip. Fun one.
That one we went through it, but in a good way.
What do you mean?
Like we went through the whole 9 yards. We learned how to replace engine oil together like 7 hours into our drive. We almost ran out of gas and didn't have GPS.
We're stuck in the middle of nowhere with no connection. So here's a funny story about the camping. We were supposed to have a permit to go camp, but we didn't have a permit. And we thought that we could just show up and camp because that's how we've never camped before. That's just how we thought that it was.
Granted, we were 19.
Okay.
So we just did not know any better.
Yeah. So we show up, we park our car at this campsite and we start setting up fire. We basically have our whole situation set up. We didn't know that you were supposed to have a permit that was tied to this like post or whatever. This whole time we're just thinking like, oh yeah, we'll just spend the night here. Everything will be fine. Throughout the night, there are a whole bunch of rangers and just people that are just looking at our spot, probably wondering what the hell these kids were doing.
Yep.
But they left us alone, which is really nice.
It was really nice. I was having a good time. We bought a watermelon, the juiciest watermelon we had ever had. We were making Korean barbecue over the fire. We were making s'mores. We were going hee hee ha ha as much as a 19-year-old couples will do. And these rangers drove by in their little ATVs and they were just looking at us some sort of way. And we were just like this, tipping the hat. And you did wear a hat. You wore your
A Ranger Rick hat.
hat.
Yeah. We also lit fire. We can't thank our neighbor RV enough for this because they gave us some firewood to light for our fire.
Yes.
I was walking around chopping stuff down for a fire.
Yes, we had one hatchet.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were supposed to do. But the problem is you're actually not supposed to do that. That's actually illegal.
It is illegal.
I found that out after.
And feeding ducks is illegal too because I fed them sausages and they would not leave me alone.
Yep. Actually, I don't think that's illegal.
In some places it's illegal to feed
Yeah, but it wasn't.
wildlife.
I don't think it was there.
I would hope not. And then we had a torch making contest. That was so fun. I made the biggest torch.
I made the longest lasting torch. That's what matters.
Yeah. Okay, so we went over what we did. What did you learn?
What did I learn?
You learned how to make the longest lasting torch.
Yep. I learned how to appreciate the company that we had. I learned through those conversations a little bit more about you, a little bit more about us and our compatibility. So I think that that's really important. The problem is I know that not a lot of people get the chance to have a vacation as your like first date. Also, these weren't first dates.
No, this trip was literally maybe 3 or 4 months after our initial trip. It was the same year.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Which was
but
crazy.
We'd
part.
already lived together like 24/7 at that
Yeah, we
point.
were around each other 24/7 pretty much after I moved back.
So we already knew a lot about each other and we knew that we already got along. So that's why we were able to take some of these trips together. Having those trips, I think, is important. And to be honest, we didn't spend much on anything else. We spent it on just taking like a nice trip out. And besides that, it was just mostly food dates.
Yeah, it was a lot of experiences and not necessarily like, oh, we just bought something to do together. You know?
Right. Yeah, actually, that's a really good tip. If you want to spend on something, spend it on experiences rather than things, because at the end of the day, you're going to cherish and you're going to remember and take a lot more away from those experiences than you will from the stuff. So for me, I think it was nice to have sit down dinners and actually have talks and conversations rather than just having dinner, just have dinner.
And like on a more serious note, I wanted to add that traveling together with your partner is such an important thing because you take both of yourselves out of each other's comfort zones. So you're out of a place where both of you guys know. You're entirely not depending, but working together to kind of make your new adventure like work. And I also don't want to say like, if you want to figure out this person is going to be like your forever person, don't just travel with the first person you see. That's extremely scary. It is a good way to test what your actual compatibility is like.
Okay, so then I have a question for you. What's your favorite trip and what's your favorite memory? They don't have to be the same trip or memory. Just give me one of each.
My favorite trip was the one where we went to Oahu and
The first time or second time?
the second time because you proposed to me. Of course, it would be my favorite one.
Of course.
It was really funny because that's around the time where I lost all that weight. So we decided to go hiking and I was really eager to see like how far I can push my body.
Yeah.
We hiked 3 or 4 miles.
4 miles.
4 miles to a waterfall and then 4 miles back, and it was on private property too. So
Well, it was on like government regulated property.
Yes, yeah. So we had to get like a special permit to be there, and it was really cool because we were the only people there. And I remember maybe 2 or 3 miles in, I was exhausted. I was sweaty. I was like, bro, what are we doing? I'm so tired. It's so hot out here. And then
the last mile was you complaining the entire way.
yeah. And then we got to, well, I do want to say that the last mile was the scariest because it was completely like unmarked. We were
Yeah, it
literally
was the beaten path.
walking, holding on to ropes because the angle of the slopes were so steep that the ropes were tied to the trees going straight.
And there wasn't really a path. It was
Yes.
just kind of like, hey, trust the unnatural markers.
And it was wet and it was slick because the mud was wet.
But not wet enough for the waterfall.
Yes, when we got there, the water wasn't even running.
Yep.
And it was just a pool of like murky water.
But imagine if the waterfall was running.
yeah.
No, but imagine the conditions. We would not have made it.
Oh, you're right.
If
yeah.
it was
Absolutely
raining-
would not have made it.
If it had rained any time that week, there's no way that we would have made the last
Yeah.
mile. Because I already fell on my ass.
Yes, you
Yeah.
did. So we got there, we saw like the open pool of the waterfall. Leading up to it, I was so excited to like swim in it.
We were planning
To swim.
planning on swimming in it.
And then the second I looked down, there's like this big ass, it's not even a lobster, but it was a
No,
crawfish.
it's a crawfish.
No, it's a crawfish
Okay.
that looked like a big ass
Oh,
lobster.
yeah.
I was like, oh my God, what is that? I was like, what? How you built like that? What they put in the water over here? And the whole time he was setting up the camera behind me.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. And he was feeling so tense and I could feel it in the air. I was like, why is he tripping over here? We literally just made it to this place. I'm chilling. Me and the crawfish were chilling.
Vibing.
And then he just got frustrated and was like, I'm just gonna use my phone instead. And I thought he was gonna take a picture, but then he proposed.
There weren't any flat surfaces when we got up
No.
there to set up my camera. That's why it was so tough. And also, I was probably just really exhausted and wasn't really thinking. So when we were setting it all up, it got really difficult and I got really frustrated because nothing was going right.
And the camera gear was heavy. And
Yeah.
you hauled that for 4 miles.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think my bag was probably what, like 30 pounds?
20 to 30 pounds at
Yeah.
least. But then you proposed and I was so shook. I literally didn't even know what to say. I was like, yeah. And then
You
the
ugly cried.
The second you turned the camera off, I was just like, I'm sorry, I complained the last
Yeah,
one.
I wish I got that on camera because that was the perfect, that was what I wanted. That's the money shot. The ugly
Yeah.
cry, the apology for complaining on the way up. It was good.
And then the rest of the way down, I was like this.
No, actually, no. The rest of the way down, you couldn't even look at the ring because we put it away because we didn't want it to slip.
Yes,
remember?
I was scared of it falling
Yeah.
off of my finger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was one of those situations where if it was gone, we were never seeing it again. Somewhere in the jungle,
Yep.
down the
Oh,
hill, or
it
down.
was-
It wasn't even a hill; it was a mountain.
Yeah, it was a mountain. It was a mountain. And then the best feeling was walking back down and then seeing your sisters there
Yep.
waiting for us. It was,
Because they knew.
Yeah, they
knew
knew.
going up to there. They known for
Yeah.
months. I don't know if I would say that that was my favorite trip, but that was definitely one of my favorite memories. Was that 4 mile hike? So it was like 7.5 or 8 miles total that we hiked.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite was getting to certain spots where it was like a lookout. Mm-hmm. Both you and I, because there's nobody around, we were just like screaming at the top of our lungs.
That was
out in the
awesome,
mountain.
too.
That was really cool.
yes, because there was this one clearing that was completely open and you can see all the green coming down
Yes.
from like the mountain and the valley.
You could see it for miles.
Yeah.
Out.
It was really cool. I would agree. I would say that was like my favorite memory. So my favorite trip would probably be our honeymoon
Yep. I would
Yeah.
agree. This
That
last trip to
to
Maui.
Maui. Yeah.
So far, Hawaii's been like a real banger. So we're going to transition over to a quick round of We're Not Really Strangers, the couples edition. This time we're going to do a level 3.
Oh boy, buckle up, girlies. It's gonna be long.
So this is a pinnacle episode, y'all. The reason why is because we've done level 1, 2, and 3. So let us know which level you preferred to listen to. So level 3 is reflection. Questions here should be very deep.
Come on, man. It's
Come
late at
on,
night,
man.
I don't want to talk about my feelings like this, man. What part of my heart do you wish you could heal?
Oh, damn.
Whatever Marcus says,
Here-
we're only answering level 1 questions.
No, I know the answer to this. Part of your heart that I wish to heal was the one that was cut so deep by this card.
Do it right now. Do it right now. How are you gonna heal me?
Oh, wait.
I think I broke even more.
Oh, okay. I'd say the part of your heart that I would wish to heal the most is the part that always feels like you either don't belong or the part that feels like you aren't enough.
I wish so too.
Yeah. You grew up having a very weird childhood, and I think you grew up in a weird place where you couldn't really fit in culturally with a lot of friends, and also within your family you had a weird family dynamic just because of how big it was and all the age differences and whatnot. You have a hard time believing in yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like sometimes I'm like the homeschool kid that
Actually,
never left
kind of
home.
seemed like it. No,
Yeah, I'm the
the
homeschool.
fact that you had to take ESL and you're from here
Yeah.
and I wasn't from here and I
Yeah.
didn't even need to take ESL.
Yeah.
That's weird.
There are like some really weird small things that comes with that too, because I was just telling Marcus this, like I literally 25 years, I just realized this, but I was like, why do I, this is so personal, okay? Why do I breathe with my mouth?
Personal attack. Hey man, it's friendly fire.
And then I was like, trying to think about it, okay? It came from ESL when I remember learning about vowels. She was like over exaggerating or over enunciating the vowels with her mouth. Oh, it's like a fish mouth. So she's like, make like a fish mouth, like that. That's oh.
That's not what I think
And-
of at all.
No, that was like a core memory.
Oh.
And that's why like she's like, oh, like with your mouth, so the noise comes out through your mouth. So I never thought to use my nose.
All right, here.
Oh, that
it
looks like a lot
is.
of words.
Yeah, I'm illiterate, so it's gonna be like. All right. Question is, what goal would feel best for you to accomplish this year? How can I support you in that? That's a good one.
Why is this a double question for me? It's for you, no?
No, it's a question that I asked you.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
Also, a perfect question because it's almost New Year's.
I have a few. I mean, there's like fitness, there's like business, there's my hobbies.
You
I
can
would
give
say,
me a few.
okay. The first one that comes to mind is fitness related. So I just want to get down to like a body weight that is really maintainable and one that, you know, is a healthy and like ideal body for me. I know that's so subjective, but that's something
Like
that
a
I would
dream
really
body.
like. Yeah. Well, I spent so long fantasizing about that there's like a mindset in my head that, oh, once I reach like this body type, then I can start living my life. When in actuality, like I started living my life since 1998. So I'm not saying that I don't feel that way now. There's like a piece of me that's like so rooted in like not being satisfied with my body that I would be like, you know what? I actually made it. This is my time to shine.
That's fair. That's fair.
And
Okay, so
then-
how can I support you on that?
I don't know. Well, I think you're doing like a really good job right now. We go to the gym together. You're still like brutally honest. Sometimes it crushes my spirit. I'm just kidding.
Damn, okay.
You're brutally like you're just honest. Like you're not gonna gas me up and be like, you're a good girl, like keep going.
I'll tell you when you can be pushing yourself. That's what I say.
That's what I
Yeah.
appreciate. Yeah, no, it's what I appreciate. The second goal I have is more business and financial related. I wanted to build up a more successful side hobby. So I just have like another stream of income. And you know, I've been trying maybe like a year now. Started with like my Etsy shop. And I think that it's pretty good, but it's not as effortless as most people make it out to be, or like the tutorials I followed make it out to be.
Nothing ever is.
Nothing ever is. So I think I'm like not in a bad place with my shop, but I think it could be better. And I think it would be really cool to just see that be a little more successful.
Very cool. How can I support you on that?
I'm not really sure because I know that like this is a venture that I kind of like just started on my own, and it's supposed to be something that is like a hobby and it is like a side.
Did you want to pull another card? Up to you.
We'll do a bonus card. Why not?
The bonus bonus round, level 1, perception.
This is a good one because very relevant. How important do you think holidays and birthdays are to me? Explain.
They're very important to you, actually.
To me?
Yeah.
How so? Explain.
You try to account for everybody's birthday. You always try to account for my enjoyment during holidays. So I think that from that aspect, it's very important to you. In terms of the holiday itself, I think you could give less of a shit. Do you actually care about Christmas? No. Do you actually care about Easter even though you lay the eggs? No. But you lay the eggs because you just want me to go look for them.
Yes. My grandma's house has a big backyard, and my uncle and my grandma would always put quarters, and if you're really lucky, a $1 bill. And I swear that after the initial Easter egg hunt, months after, there would be eggs that we would still be finding
Wow.
in the backyard.
Lost money.
I know.
Treasure Island.
But
Go look for it.
They thought it was so funny to see me and my cousins just scramble to find a few pennies in quarters.
Wow.
And it was fun too. Me and my cousins are like, oh my gosh, you got a quarter? I got a penny. But obviously, I'm like 7. I don't know how to count money.
Yeah.
They'll be like, I'll trade you 4 quarters for a penny.
Wow.
I'll be like, I don't know. And they're like, but red is prettier than silver. And I was like, you're right.
You got duped. Duped as a kid.
Well, thank you guys for joining this episode of Pillow Talk. We talked a little bit about traveling and then played a little bit of We're Not Strangers.
We're not really strangers.
Yeah, we're not really strangers anymore. 6 years in, we're brothers. Only closer. I love that. Oh my God. Thank you for joining us on Pillow Talk. My name is Nina.
My name's Marcus.
Make sure to stay connected to us by following us on Instagram. That will be in the notes in the description.
If you want to join in on the conversation, send us your questions, send us some topics, just hit us up.
Thank you.
Peace.